everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful edition of Unstoppable Conversations. And today we have Kirk in the house, and I'm really excited about having you here, Kirk, because I know you're going to bring some grand ideas and things into our community. So, Kirk, start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and your business, and how do you help others?
LaDonna, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you. I am from a little town called Fort Worth, which is 95 miles to the southwest of Sherman, where you're located, and went to school in the area, went to University of North Texas, met my spouse there. She has put up with me now for 46 years. We have talent in our family, and it's not me, it's her. She's an interior designer, and I'm along for the ride, but it's been great for me. I hope it has been for her. We've got a couple of kids, 7 grandkids to go along with them. I started off my career in HR, had a 35-year career in that. Late in that career, I had designs on pursuing something else. I wasn't quite sure what that was going to be, but I hired a coach. And about the third meeting I had with the coach, I said, I want to do what you do. And that was back in 2012 and launched that journey. And I have been on it ever since and absolutely love it. I get to meet LaDonna, as you all know, with so many interesting people, such diversity, such stories that go with that. And I've been truly blessed to be on that ride for coaching.
That's awesome. So, what kind of coaching do you enjoy most, Kirk?
I am labeled as a career and executive development coach, but I get into a lot of other things because life always intersects those areas. So we may be focused on career or development in terms of getting a seat at the table in a corporation, but life components are always going to come into play. Finances, relationships, health, leisure, spirituality, all those things come into it as well. So my target is working with basically two types of people, and they're not related to each other really. One is younger people who have maybe been out of school for a while. They're facing that first career crossroads. This degree that I got, this area of study that I pursued, is really not what I want to do. I want to change careers. So we'll walk through that and what the possibilities may be. The other is the more mature individuals who are maybe looking for that last career capstone, or I'm ready, as I was, to pursue something else to have impact, but I'm not quite sure what that is. Kirk, help me along. Help me to make an informed decision as to what my skill set may be for those kinds of things.
Oh, that is awesome. So, you do a wide variety of coaching, which I love to hear because myself, I'm like you, I get caught up in so many different forms of coaching. And you know what? I just go with it because if I can teach others, show others how to do what they want to do and give them great ideas, I'm in for the ride. So, if I want to circle back around just for a second, what is your very favorite thing to coach?
I think of a client who was a career coaching client, and this was about 2 or 3 years ago, but he came from the faith-based community, and he faced a very challenging situation to where he lost his job. He was fired, and this was from one of the more prominent theological seminaries in the country. You wouldn't think that faith-based organizations have personnel problems. Oh, they've got them just like the rest of us do. So he was caught in the aftermath of that, and he was looking for help discovering what his next career move was going to be. But before we even got to that, we had to walk through grief that he was still experiencing from the loss of that job, which he thought this is what I'm going to be doing for a long time. That wasn't the case. So to work with him to restore some confidence, some self-esteem, to dust himself off. And once we did that, what is the pursuit going to be? He, like me, was, and you, a product of the South, and job opportunity came up in the Northeast. Oh, it's cold. They don't have the same accents we have. And how is this going to work for me, my wife, our extended family going into that? The good news is, after he dusted himself off, discovered that self-confidence, he made a connection with that organization. It was his faith calling that was so important and critical that directed him in that area. And now he's transitioned. He's discovered the kids aren't that far away from Southwest Pennsylvania, and he's become a Steelers and a Pirates fan and all the good stuff. Happy as a lark from what I can tell. Great connection, and we still stay in touch periodically. It's good to see him thriving.
That is awesome. I love to hear those stories where things happen and we don't know they're happening and we don't know why they're happening, but they're happening. And then we get caught and we're like, what do I do now? And that's where people like you and I can come in and say, let us help guide you. We're not here to tear you apart. We're not here to help you find the reasons per se, but we are here to help you carry on and to guide you where you're going to next. And it's I tell people sometimes my God is a very funny man sometimes. I never know what he's going to throw at me, but I'm ready at all times to catch it because I know he's guiding me in the right direction. But sometimes I need those people around me to cheer me on, to show me how, to push me a little bit. And that I want to go into community a little bit with that because you surround yourself with the right people, the right coaches, strategists, mentors, friends, family, the people that lift you up the most, that can cheer you on, but not just be your cheerleader, but really cheer you on to the next level of wherever you're going. And I feel like that's what coaches have to do every day is we have to cheer each other on because we never know. And I tell everyone, now listen up, everyone needs a coach, a mentor, a strategist of some kind in every field that we do and every turn that we take. We can't do it on our own. We're not supposed to do it on our own, Kurt. We're supposed to surround ourselves with people. That's why we have so many people and diversity in life is because it comes from all different angles. So, if you had to say one thing to people out there that may be looking for a great coach like yourself, what would that be, Kirk? Any ideas?
As you pursue a coach, I think the most important thing, look for a connection. Can I have a relationship with this person? Will they challenge me and take me to a place, from what I can tell, that may make me a little bit uncomfortable at times, but they're going to lift me up. They're going to encourage me. They're going to build my self confidence. I have a coach, and I talked to him a couple of days ago. It becomes harder and harder for me to find a coach because I wanted somebody who was older and wiser. And there are not that many people that are older now, but there's a lot that are wiser. So I've been working with Alan for well over 5 years, and he's fabulous to keep me buoyed up and encouraged. So encourage, relationship, connection is important. That's my key word for 2026 is connection. And I think coaching is still highly unregulated profession. It's getting to be more so, but I think as prospective clients look for coaches, look for somebody who is accredited to by accreditation body like the International Coaching Federation or others out there like that. Accreditation gives some legitimacy and will ensure that maybe you're not getting connected with the snake oil salesman or woman.
Absolutely. You said something and I heard something about connection. I love that's my thing, connecting, networking, collaboration. That's what I love teaching others how to do it in the right way at the right time for themselves and their business. And you said word of the year was connection. You know, I think most coaches, if not every coach I've ever ran into, they always have the word of the year. Every business person I've ever ran into, they have the word of the year. Yours this year is connection. Mine this year is moxie. I wanted to go a little bit different this year because I've done connection, network, I've done net worth, I've done so many over. I mean, I've been in business for so long, but I've never chosen the word moxie. Why do you think it's so important for us to choose the word of the year, Kirk?
I love your word. I'll look it up afterwards so I can make sure I'm spelling it correctly. Does it have an E or not an E?
It
But
does have an E.
it keeps us focused. Last year, for me, the word was move. And that was in response to a lot of what I heard clients saying. Kirk, I feel stuck. How do you get unstuck? You need to make a move. It may not be the right move, but you're doing something. I had a wise friend who once told me, make a decision. You can always ask for forgiveness, but it's not pardonable to say, I didn't do anything in response to whatever it was. So that was moved. This year, I'm talking to more and more clients about marketing, networking, that's connection. But I looked at myself and asked myself, son, what are you doing to connect? And I'm thinking about connections with those people that I'm not in communication with every day. Maybe clients from 3 or 4 years ago, maybe someone from distant past, a relationship, someone I formerly worked with. And what I'm finding, one, it makes some impact on them, I think, but secondly, the impact is on me. I am boosted up by virtue of hearing from them, and they'll often mutter a comment. It's great to hear from you. You made a big difference in my life at this point, and I wish you well. It's a win-win for all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My word moxie stands for a lot of things, but for me, it stands for mindset, ownership, my X factor, intention, and empowerment. That's why I chose the word, is because it has so many high potential words inside of it. And what I mean by high potential, it makes me want to do more, do better, stand up taller, and to help more. That's the way I feel about the word moxie. So every word we choose, I really feel like it means something to each of us, but something completely different to each of us. When I did my word connection for the year a couple of years ago, it might have meant something different than what yours does, but we're both trying to move in the same direction, and that's forward. Fall forward, move forward. We're all going to fall down sooner or later, some more than others, different times of our lives than others. But I always tell them we're not falling down, we're falling forward because we learn from that fall and we move forward. So I hope that helps somebody today of these key words. And you don't have to be a coach to have a key word of the year. You can be any person. You don't even have to be in business for yourself. You can work for someone else and still have that power word to move you and to help you move yourself, your business, your family, your work, your JLB, whatever it is that you need to feel empowered about. Kirk, I know we're just about out of time, but before we go, I want to ask you, what else would you like to say to everyone out here before we go today?
The potential is there for so many of us. I intersect with people all the time. I used to when I was in the 9 to 5 work environment, and I would look at them, and many were downcast, looking down. If I can just make it to some point in time, things are going to get better. And oftentimes they would have the numbers counted in terms of 2,663 days until I'm eligible to retire. And then what comes after that? So we're burdened and confined by those golden handcuffs that we put upon ourselves. So the encouragement I would have to those who are watching and listening is the 2,663 days, that's to the future. What are you going to do today? What is your possibility? What is your opportunity? How can you use your God-given abilities to have impact, which is important,